Well, hello everyone, welcome back in. It is Monday and that means it is Melanated Monday today. So here, let's get started. And on the Melanated Monday message, I just want to say thank you to everyone who watches the videos. If you're new here, hello. I'm Insightful Angel. And I love doing these readings for you. So let's see what spirit, ancestors, guardian angels have to tell us for this week. What's the theme of the week going to be, shall we see? All right, I hope you're all well. I hope the week that you've had has been fruitful, has brought you health, joy, happiness, and that you're looking forward to this week and what this week is going to bring. So let's get started and see what our oracle cards have to say for us today. Thank you. Okay, we have one flipping straight away, and we have the hippopotamus. Okay, there we go. And that says, you're bored. It says, all right, stir things up, release emotions and habits that no longer serve you, and start something new. All right, so a call to action, a call to change things up a little bit. And I don't know about you, but I think last week's reading kind of indicated that that was the case, that perhaps there was a feeling of ennuyeux, a feeling of not a lot's happening because maybe there's not frantic action. And it was reminding us that just because there's not a lot of frantic action doesn't mean that things are not happening behind the scenes. And just a quick reminder, I don't know if that's the right way, and a reminder of that this week. So, an opportunity to sweep clean, start with a solid foundation, a new foundation. And I think for many of us, when I started doing these readings, it was about, a lot of the messages were about foundation, sweeping clean, old habits, etc. This feels very much to me like you've kind of done that work, and it's now about laying a solid, newer foundation on which to move into the future with. You know how if you have an old house, you take down the walls and the whatever, and then you actually will relay that foundation, won't you, to make sure that it's stable and can support the new building and the new life that you're wanting to create. And we have here, we have dragons, and it says slay them all, and that is number 6. Now number 6 is often the number of participation, cooperation. Okay, so let's see what else we have to say about dragons and slaying them all. It says here, all right, so let's see what our oracle has to say for us today, this week. All right, hopefully that's in focus for you. When the heart is involved, people don't always have the best intentions. They will pretend they're good for you, only for you to find out they're toxic or even abusive. The time has come to face your dragons, and you must slay them before they slay you. Of course, don't literally slay them, but make sure they know you won't stand for their mistreatment. Okay, so interesting. Yeah, both messages here this week about getting rid of emotions that are no longer serving you. It says, let's start something new, and this one about slaying them all, and mostly talking about slaying old habits, old ways of thinking. Now I know the journey that we've been on together, we have done a lot of work on clearing, cleansing, building new, etc. However, it seems to me that this week Spirit is very much saying in this Monday's message, dig deep and look for those ways, habits, ways of being, thought processes, those kind of rules of living that you put upon yourself that actually are no longer serving you. So what thoughts do you have? What habits do you have? Maybe it's procrastination. Have you thought that maybe your procrastination goes back to a real fear of success? Because if you procrastinate, then you could always be seemingly looking like you're getting on with your future, the vision that you create for yourself. But if you procrastinate, you never quite get it achieved. And so you can always say, well, I tried, I put in some effort. But what about actually getting there? Procrastination can be an excuse for that, as I see it. And I'm going to admit it. I can be a procrastinator. I can have fervent periods of activity when I start something new, but for me the challenge sometimes is the consistency. Maybe that's one of your challenges. Maybe it's a lack of consistency, because if you don't see immediate results, then you perhaps get a little bit jaded, disappointed, dejected, and lose faith easily. Perhaps some of those thoughts or habits that you need to get rid of are spreading yourself too thinly and having too many projects on the go at once, or too many things that you want to achieve. Perhaps it's not having a solid foundation for your money. Whatever it is this week, but it's very much saying there are some demons still, there are some dragons that need to be looked at. And these could be people. There may be things about yourself. It could even be thoughts about yourself. Yeah? Because if, for example, you're looking for a certain kind of success or a certain kind of lifestyle, and yet deep down you don't actually truly believe it, and you keep saying things to yourself like, oh, I'm so silly, or I always procrastinate, oh, I never get things done, then you're actually not talking to yourself in an encouraging and successful manner, are you? You're talking to yourself. This card is flipped round, and I think maybe we need to see it. It is the Hermit. All right, we'll put that to the side. That isn't the language of success, is it? So how can you hope to attain that success if one of the things you're doing, we have little blade. Okay, so that came out. So I'll place that there. Keep that one to the side. How can you then be hoping to reach? Perhaps you're not friendly towards yourself. Maybe you're looking for friendship and connection, and yet you don't speak to yourself in a friendly way. We then have, okay, we have a few here. We have Papa Good come out. Don't know if you can see that there. Okay. And then we have the Rider. And then we had the Two of Blades. Oh, we've got quite a few flip themselves over in that shuffle there. Hey, can you see that? I love these cards. Look at the Two of Blades. We then had Little Coin. Okay. And we have the Ten of Goods. Okay. All right. So let me just do a final shuffle and see if there's. I'll put that one back there because that was our extra one, wasn't it? So we have 6 cards here, and I think 6 is all right. I usually generally get 5 or 6. I'll just ask the desk, is there anything else, deck, that you want us to hear this week? Any other messages that you want us to hear this week? Okay. Whoa. Okay, we have one more. All right. Oh, and we have 2 more. So we have Mama Blade and 6 of Blades. All right. So that's Mama Blade there. There she is in all her glory. And we have the 6 of Blades. Okay. Quite a few blades this week. So it's very much about, as these 2 cards indicate, it's the mental faculty that we need to be looking at. We have Little Blade, all right, was the first card out, and the first card is generally the strongest energy of the reading. So Little Blade, all right, so Little Blade is showing us that we're keen, we're objective, we've been in a practical mode, you know, chopping wood, fetching water, very much the energy of last week where, remember, it was saying that just because you're not in kind of like full all guns blazing forward motion doesn't mean that things are not working. So we're still very much in that energy. We then have Papa Good. Now the goods would correspond in this deck to, can I see if I can get it focused, to the cups. This is a healer, a wise counsellor, someone whose emotions are balanced, cultured and quite diplomatic, all right? So that state of just perpetual continuing chopping wood, fetching water has led into a place of kind of balance, and we're healing. There's healing going on here, okay? We then have the rider. Now the rider would correspond to, in a traditional deck, would correspond to the chariot. And the chariot, as we know, is forward motion. So this is saying, even though you're in that space here of just doing the functional things, continuing, and maybe feeling a little bit frustrated, maybe feeling a little bit bored, maybe wondering when's it going to happen, there's a healing and a wise counsel. There's a laying of the foundation within yourself that your emotions are balanced and you know how to deal with whatever's coming for you. You have there's a maturity that's come through this past period, and as a result, Spirit is reminding you that that success is coming. Yeah. This is a card of determination and willpower. It's a sign of momentum. So that movement is happening, and when it really starts to happen, for some of us, it's going to be quite fast. We then have the Two of Blades, all right? Okay, can we get that focus? Let's see. Now, the Two of Blades, again, you know, another blade, and the blades are what would, in the traditional deck, be the swords. And the swords are always talking about the mental faculties, okay? And number 2 is very much a number of trying to kind of achieve some kind of balance. Neutrality. In this, it would mean that you're neutral. There's objectivity in what you're doing. So it's very much, so far, a reading that's saying, look, you're in a good place. Might not be wholly exciting, might not be bells and whistles and lots of fireworks going off. But remember the Hermit came out, first of all, as an additional card. And the Hermit is a card of introspection, healing. So what you've been doing up to this point has been creating a space where you could heal, gain balance, both in your emotional and mental body. And remember, this card here, Papa God, came out and very much supporting that healing space that you're in, that space of just getting into a place of balance. Alright, so that was the Two of Blades. We then had Little Coin. Little Coin is, of course, the start of perhaps a change or a shift in the financial landscape. It's not huge amounts necessarily. You're not going to be showered with coins, but that, oh God, what is it? The kind of movement towards your abundance is happening. It's starting, it's on the move, there is some movement, okay? I'm just going to check the book and see if see what else it has to say about the coins in this deck, because there are some slight differences, because she's named them according to African imagery and items that we as melanated peoples will be able to resonate with more so. Okay, so that's your Little Coin card there. So Little Coin very much talking to us about growth and renewal. So we are moving forward. There is growth, there is activity, but we need to be diligent in that activity and dig deep. It's very much about laying the foundation. Remember, I mentioned the word foundation earlier on, and it is about laying a new foundation. And in doing so, You're going to build a bigger, better house. More stable, more luxurious, more suited to what it is you feel you would like to achieve, or and how you would like to live in this life, so that internally you're feeling much more a sense of, I don't know, a sense of satisfaction and peace, and just living the way that we should be living. So we then have the Ten of Goods, and this is the card which is indicating that even though this looks like you just kind of treading water, remember there's healing going on here, both within yourself, okay, and within the mental body. There's much more balance coming, and then there are elements that are going to come in quite quickly with our rider here. And then at the end here, towards the end, we had the Ten of Goods, and the Ten of Goods very much showing us that, sorry, I just knocked the camera there, that happiness, the fulfillment, being awakened, and spiritually as well as materially, that abundance is coming. There are 10 of them. 10 and 0, 1 and 0 is 10, which reduces down to 1, and that's about new beginnings and new starts. So this new start, this new foundation that you're laying, this new house that you're building, this new vision, this new life, this new you that you're healing into and creating as you continue to slay those mental dragons, because remember there's quite a few blades, so it's a lot about the mental body. What is it you're saying to yourself? What is it you're saying about others? What is it you're saying about life in general? Do you still have some outmoded ideas and beliefs that are perhaps slowing you down from getting to this 10, right? Through the continuous slaying of these dragons and these outmoded thought processes and belief systems that you have, okay? That's where you're going to move steadily, consistently. At times there will be some speed, because as it says here, we're getting rid of things that no longer serve us, emotions and habits that no longer serve us. And this is the card that talks about the emotions, Papa Good, and how we speak to ourselves, and how the emotional body is becoming more healed and more balanced. We then had Mama Blade, and again another blade. Let's see, how many blades do we have? 1, 2, 3 blades. So that's the strongest energy. Then we have a couple of goods. So there's your money's coming in here. And we have a 6 of blades at the end as well. So predominantly an energy of swords or blade energy. And that really, really fits with that, because as the initial oracle cards told us, we got to slay those dragons, and those dragons are the thoughts, ideas, beliefs that perhaps there's 1 or 2. What others can you dig deep and find that are perhaps not thoughts that are serving you where you want to go and who you want to become. I suspect some of us who've been on this journey are realizing that we're becoming very, very different people to the people that started out on this journey, and that's a good thing, because change is good as long as it's change that leads to your growth and development. Now this woman is a disciplined woman. She's autonomous, she's very sophisticated, she's very insightful, and she knows how to use her words. She can use them harshly, she can wield that blade with power and decisiveness and cut sharply and cut things off if she needs to. However, she does so with diplomacy and balance. She knows now, and you notice she's come out underneath Papa Good. So in both in the emotional body, you're achieving some mastery and some healing, as well as in this mental body, and knowing how to use your words and your insights in a more discerning way, both to others and to yourselves. And then finally, we have the 6 of blades. 6 of blades, it's not the 5 of blades, which is a card of kind of like dissension, fighting. It implies that you're traveling and you're moving away. It's a transition, indicating there's a transition going on, and you're moving away to greater clarity. So again, a reading this week, a message from Spirit this week, which is not all excitement and lots of circuses in town, but actually I think it's really, really quite powerful, because this at the end tells us, keep going, continue to check those emotions, get rid of what's no longer serving you. It is very much about a house. I just keep seeing a house, and it's like we're building a new house. The foundations are being built, and the Six of Blades, in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, you'll have seen it, it's a card of the 6 blades upright in a canoe, and this person's sailing away, and it means you're sailing, really getting right away across very calm waters from those challenges, those spiky thoughts, those emotions, those toxicities, those people, energies, situations, friendships that were no longer serving you. And we just need to do a little bit more work here on how we think and speak to ourselves in the mental body, because remember, the overall energy is the mental body. But it's a good reading. I feel Spirit has given us a very beautiful reading this week. Some very, very favourable cards, just showing how far we've come and how much further we've got to go. And I'm sure many of us who've been on this journey with me, I know in my own life, there's a real sense of, okay, we've got a card fall out. Inner child. Okay, so again, it's about looking inward, inner child, and it says, nurture your inner child and begin to express the awesome beauty you hold within. We live in a world where a formula exists for everything. Yet, love and certain creativity have no formula. They do not need to be studied, simply nurtured. Regularly set aside some time to just play. All right? So that's very much asking us to, as we're doing this work, fill ourselves up by looking at that child within us, and because that, adhering to that, letting that out, playing, nurturing that, dancing around, singing at the top of your voice, I don't know, have a bubble bath, or getting out on your roller skates, whatever it is, those things are going to really help lay that solid foundation for this. When this abundance comes in, it's no longer wasted, you no longer suffer that, some of us have had those highs, peaks and troughs, highs and lows. We get relatively successful, and then something happens and we're back to the beginning again, and we feel like, well, what is going on? How many times do we have to go around in circles with this? And then our advice card has been embrace the balance between earth and spirit. So very much the whole reading about balance. Everything's coming into balance. Everything is going in the right direction. And at the very end, we have the 6 of Swords or 6 of Blades, telling you are sailing into calmer waters. You are sailing into a new life. You're creating a foundation and a vision which leads to greater balance, prosperity, and less of the highs and lows that you've experienced previously. Thank you very much for tuning in. I personally think that's a beautiful reading. If you're here at this point, please give the video a like. I would really, really appreciate that. If you're new, thank you very much. I hope this video resonated and that you liked it. Please feel free to like, share, and if you feel someone else could benefit from the message, then feel free to subscribe. Thank you very much. I've been Insightful Angel. Take care. Bye.